Paid. Team Liquid will remove that one from the table, also getting rid of the Akali. And the Corki and Sona are the first bans here for Cloud9. They don't want to make the mistake of letting Doublelift onto the Sona Taric shenanigans that we've seen other teams make in the past.
I love that that was his highlights when he was walking out was the Sona power chord.
You know he's got to love it.
It's a signature champion.
Oh yeah, just that's what he's going to be known for years into the future. A man and his Sona.
Forget the Lucian. It's all about that Sona. All right. Well, and I'm really excited to see, is Cloud9 going to look for something like that first pick Aatrox themselves, trying to take that away? You know, Impact has been pretty happy to play things like the GP into that, the Kennen, you know, as well. You know, he has quite a few picks that he is comfortable with, but, you know, I want to see Cloud9 give themselves options to play around both of their solo lanes so that it is not as obvious where they are going to go.
And it's clear to me that Team Liquid have their eyes on the junglers still. This Gragas will probably be permabanned versus Svenskeren. They don't want the MVP jungler to have a champion that can be that explosive. So Cloud9 opt for the next best choice for them. The Sejuani does have the initiation, does take away some of the front line that Team Liquid like to rely on.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting because it's not really that early game powerhouse. This is much more of a scaling jungler, and I think you know, Xmithie is going to be very comfortable to take something like a Trundle or even the J4 into this. You know, playing kind of the more defensive end of the matchup is often where he is happiest.
But yeah, going from picking something like a Zeyzal first rotation on red side to Sejuani literally first pick on blue, at least to me signals a pretty drastic change in mindset coming into the second game.
The other thing you have to remember though is in some cases, in some 2v2s, it actually can be really strong in the early game, and that is with a melee champion. If you pair it alongside something like an Irelia, which is not actually banned out this time along, or the Renekton, the Kled, some of these different picks that Cloud9 have brought out, you can turn yourself into a stronger 2v2 combo.
Lock it in. There we go.
The smile on your face.
Team Liquid respond to the Sejuani. They'll grab themselves the Tahm Kench early on for some safety and some mobility around the map, and they'll grab the Skarner for that pick potential. I mentioned last game when it was banned how much of a winning record Xmithie has on this champion.
Skarner also deters a lot of melee threats, kind of pushing Cloud9 more into a range situation where they're going to want to set up. You know, already having Sejuani behind that sort of lineup, are they still going with the Irelia even into Skarner? This becomes a hard choice for Irelia because Irelia wants to get her burst, right? She needs to get her wave clear from the Tiamat as well as the Trinity Force. Fitting a QSS in comes much later, and it comes at a very big cost to this champion.
And I'm not sure if Impact would go to it, but we actually saw Irelia into Poppy and Skarner yesterday, and that looked so doomed for the Irelia. I think Poppy would be a fantastic pick here for Liquid if they felt like going to it. It's great in the laning phase against Irelia. It shuts down not only the Irelia playmaking, but also Kai'Sa ultimate, the dash from the Sejuani as well. So I think it could be a really solid top lane pick.
Well, we will have to wait and see those solo lane picks for Team Liquid until the second half of the draft. They're going to go ahead, go with the jungle plus bottom lane combination here, picking up the Varus along with Tahm Kench. Kench being good for keeping the Varus safe when he normally has no escapes. Kai'Sa for the side of Cloud9, his 80 carry counterpart, as we're into the second half of the bans, and Nautilus is taken off the table.
Varus, Tahm Kench might be the second most highly prized duo for bottom lane. Varus extremely powerful in that lane phase. And with Tahm Kench safety here, Team Liquid basically deterred any sort of plan around bottom lane that Cloud9 would want to get off the ground early. So it is going to be maybe a more predictable plan once again from Cloud9 as the Sejuani Irelia. You're always going to expect those two to be playing very closely. And that can allow for Team Liquid another game plan that will easily answer that of Cloud9.
It is interesting though, this Varus certainly one of the most picked throughout this entire year for Doublelift, but not a pick that he's had a tremendous amount of success on. You know, 4 and 6 in this year on the pick, so it has not really been the same level of domination that you come to expect from Doublelift on a lot of his other champions where he is sporting these incredible win rates and dominating statistics.
Well, Team Liquid will continue paying respect to Zeyzal's Alistar. That is back-to-back games now. We've seen this banned away in the second half of the draft from TL, as Cloud9 will take LeBlanc and Sylas away.
And I think that's a lot of that really is, you know, protection for this low mobility marksman player. And also, if you are expecting something like an Azir, you don't want to give them the ability to hard engage in with the Nautilus, with this Alistar.
All right, Cloud9, what will the answer be? Again, facing Impact's Aatrox. Got so big in the team fights of the last game. One of the biggest things, too, was the communication between Team Liquid, having Impact roam down early for the river play that got everything started off.
Looks like a little bit of counter engage might be coming out here. The Braum sat on for a while by Cloud9, and they'll lock that one in.
You always want some easy crowd control when Kaisa is your marksman, so you can apply the plasma and give Kaisa more options to use the killer instinct too. Braum is also quite good in the team fights. Breaking projectiles, you can get in front of Varus. The crowd, again, booing the Karma pick. And
Let's go! Talking Cloud9, eternally the memers.
Yeah.
They put the Karma up just to tilt the crowd, switch it over to the Kled.
I mean, I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but if you lock in Karma top when you just went Sejuani and you have the ability to go for this aggressive 2v2, you would be trolling.
Definitely will be a top triangle Sejuani this time around. Both solo laners are the ideal partners for this champion. Permafrost will stack up so quickly.
Now this is really interesting to me. You know, I am expecting this Vladimir to actually go to Jensen, but that being said, Kled is an incredibly strong matchup into the Vladimir. I am not sure if Nisqy has prepared his Kled, if he would be comfortable to actually play it, or if they would be comfortable to lane swap around and have the Kled actually kind of chasing the Vladimir around the map. Because that matchup is very, very good. It's one of the best early game matchups for Kled.
Yeah, both Aatrox and Vladimir, healing-based champions. Very hard to deal with, especially with the new added grievous wounds to the bear trap on a rope for Kled.
And the tether actually goes through the pool for Vladimir, which is one of the most difficult parts. So you have to actually pre-pool the tether every time, or you will so heavily lose these trades. And as expected, it is going to be a mid lane Vladimir here for Jensen, but I'm so interested to see, will Cloud9 actually look for a lane swap, or are they going to be comfortable just playing matchups as Team Liquid wants them? Because Kled really is so difficult, and we have seen Kled mid, played in the LPL, as well as some of the other leagues around the world.
I also just want to see, can Team Liquid read Cloud9 as well as they did in the early game last time around? You mentioned, Isaac, how difficult it was going to be for Cloud9 to win with the last draft, considering the plan was very obviously play around mid. This is a team that does it to begin with. The draft wanted to do it. It was all there. Now that you have more options, now that the read is a little bit more difficult, can Team Liquid still find that out?
One of the biggest things when you are looking for those lane swaps is controlling the river between top and mid lane. And that is going to be on Svenskeren, on the Sejuani.
Crowd roars to life, and we are going to game 2 now. Everybody's on to the Rift. I love watching Irelia's home guard animation, just skating out on the blades, out onto Summoner's Rift as we're waiting for those.
Back to the future.
Spawn. Yeah, exactly.
Hoverboard.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a, as you're talking about, Flowers, a much more difficult game for Xmithie to actually know where to go. Cloud9 has not just drafted the Sejuani Irelia, they have Sejuani Kled to play too also. Powerful 2v2s in both lanes.
And as we're waiting for those minions to spawn, we're standing by. Avli's got a sideline report ready with League's biggest fan.
Biggest fan and one of the greatest minds in League of Legends, Tyler One. I gotta ask you, what went wrong with Cloud9? What were they doing?
Well, honestly, I think they tried to have fun playing League of Legends. You can't pick Thresh. You can't pick Veigar. You gotta play something like Braum, Tahm, Kench. So, this game should be a lot better.
Well, then I have to ask you, who are you rooting for in this series?
Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care who wins, but I want some nice, exciting Game 5 action. Let's go! That's what I want!
Game 5, I think maybe I should just ask you this instead. Who do you feel like you could replace on the stage here today?
Sneaky, Doublelift, Zeyzal, Nisqy, Svenskeren, Licorice, you get the gist.
I love it. Tyler, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. Back to you guys.
All right, no Game 5 exciting action, but hopefully some Game 2 exciting action will do the trick here as Licorice trying to push in on Impact.
I agree with Tyler. I like seeing exciting champions. I'm glad we didn't get any Karma.
Yeah. He was saying Cloud9 was having too much fun. What was the Karma then? Only the bot side of the map was getting to have fun.
That's a good question. Well, let's see how everybody's playing out this one here. Xmithie, he goes from the red into the Krug camp, going for the full clear through the jungle. leveling up as effectively as possible on this Skarner. And there you go. I said the win rate was impressive. 14-1 in his LCS career on the Scorpion.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane, his level of dominance on this champion. And we do have at least our early answer that it is going to be Jensen into this Irelia, and this is a much safer lane for Vladimir and also a much safer matchup as the innate healing debuff with Kled and the ability to go through that tether makes it really hard.
And both of these mid laners are staying in very similar roles. Bottom lane though, Svenskeren making an early pass on the Tahm Kench lane.
CoreJJ is the target. They know he's able to just gobble Doublelift up and keep him safe. Doublelift is devoured for now, but he's going to be taken down. First blood, Cloud9, and Sneaky tries to get the flash auto Q, but the minions show up to stop it.
Yeah, just barely can't get that second kill, but they do get the first, and that is massive. This is, again, not TP Varus. This is heal on Doublelift here, and he's going to lose all these minions.
Big plays from Cloud9, nice and early on. This is what we wanted to see from Svenskeren last time around. Game 1, Xmithie was there. Game 2, he's not. And this time, it works as intended.
So I have to say, some changes to Tahm Kench that people not keeping up with all the patches might not remember. He's not the free save that he used to be. Very, very slow once he devours. And there's not going to be any distance gain here because they stun him up as well. So spits Doublelift right back out. Low health, they finish him off. Sneaky, yes, wanted to get full, Q missiles with the auto there to try and finish him, but with the health potion ticking, CoreJJ is able to survive.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Tahm Kench used to actually haste himself when he devoured an ally. Now he just gets incredibly slowed down. Hard to move with your big old belly full, and that means Doublelift finds himself falling behind early on in this bottom lane. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Cloud9. As we take a look at the top lane, things are going pretty even. As Licorice goes into the 1v1, he'll be knocked off of his Skarl, but not much more danger right now.
You can see why people like this matchup here, though, for Kled, able to actually dodge out multiple sweet spots of those Qs, utilizing the joust on the Kled, and Svenskeren is here.
Impact's pretty close to that turret.
Very well-timed Infernal Chain there as well for Impact. Once that lands on Kled dismounted, Kled dismounted is not getting out of the Infernal Chain pretty much ever unless he flashes. So as soon as Svenskeren sees that, has to back off.
Meanwhile, mid lane, Nisqy getting aggressive onto Jensen here with the Irelia early on. Remember, Vladimir doesn't really feel that intimidating until he hits level 7, level 9, gets the low cooldowns on the transfusion. So Nisqy should have a plenty good time here in this mid lane, but it's jungler versus jungler in the barrage. Xmithie's going to be stunned up immediately. Nisqy makes his way over, and Xmithie falls.
And this time it is Svenskeren waiting for Xmithie at that mid lane. Shu on the other foot here. Cloud9 out to a great start.
They saw the Predator popped as well, just sitting there in the brush, waiting for that Skarner to come over. And the Sejuani plus Irelia combination, when you face check that, that is instant doom. The stuns are unavoidable.
You could see, though, TL was looking for that same set play from last game. Impact was roaming down at the same time. They were trying to orchestrate this 3v2 that they actually pulled off in game 1, but this time, Cloud9 was ready and CoreJJ's in trouble.
Cloud9's ready in the bottom lane now, too. Thick skin
No
still be proc down here. CoreJJ is still going to be worn down. Backup could be coming in from the river, but Svenskeren won't go any further. But top side, Team Liquid gets on the board.
Xmithie gets some revenge right there. They take down top side, bottom side, C9 dive.
4-man dive potentially coming in here now. Nisqy and Svenskeren ready to go. The minions are not at the turret just yet. They have to contemplate how hard they want to go here. Vanguard's edge comes out. TP's going through. CoreJJ is down, but at what cost? Svenskeren with a flash away, and Impact's now going to be taken very low. Nisqy falls, and Impact falls as well. Sneaky's grabbing the kill onto that one, and Jensen can do nothing. Cloud9 crush Team Liquid.
Cloud9 clean house on the bottom half of the map. Absolutely dismantling Team Liquid with multiple teleports coming in. They follow through on the tower dive, and this is going to be a fed Sneaky.
That is a huge advantage here for Cloud9. Doublelift falling down again will lose all these minions. And it was Cloud9 with the full commitment to the bot side. Up on the top side, it's the kill over onto Licorice. from Xmithie and Impact. They get the dismount, they knock him down, but this was happening at the same time as the play was being orchestrated on the bottom side. And when Kled respawned, they could go for the 5-man bot.
And it's actually that play, that information that Skarner is committed to the top side of the map that gives Cloud9 full authority to go for this dive. They know they can answer the same amount of teleports, but no Skarner will ever show up. So it is a 5 versus 4, and look at that finish. They're able to get the last kill off of Licorice ulting down, charging Doublelift, diving the tower. He knows he can just dismount under it, and it will be a clean dive, no further casualties.
Nisqy's hyped up about it. Zeyzal, you and I talked a little bit between the games about how the situation of the first game, Svenskeren picking the early champion in the Zeyzal, using the flash at level 2, not getting a kill, sort of spelt doom for his early game, but the man is popping off here in game number 2, as once again, it's blood in the bottom lane. Sneaky's gonna be taken low. Xmithie drags him back, but the damage isn't there just yet. Shut down over to CoreJJ, who's also gonna be keeping Xmithie alive. Svenskeren tries to find something. He'll get one, but he loses his life for it.
That was critical for Xmithie. He needed that counter gank to work because Doublelift was getting picked on so much.
That was Cloud9's biggest plan in this game, attacking the bottom side, attacking Team Liquid's biggest strength. Up until this point, it had worked flawlessly. They get 2 for 1, and Sneaky does go down, but thankfully for C9, he still has his teleport cooldown. So that death is not nearly as detrimental as the ones that they inflicted upon Doublelift, upon CoreJJ. Everything still is online for C9 to continue on with this plan.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. You know, this is the double combat summoners here for the TL bot lane, and yet they're the one, you know, on the receiving end of this punishment. And, you know, if you are playing TP, it's much less detrimental. You can get all that additional experience, but you're going to be behind in XP and gold at this point.
And now Cloud9 doing what we saw Liquid do in the last game, taking control over the early Drake after establishing priority in the mid and bottom lanes. They'll secure the Mountain Drake for themselves, and they'll look for the fight onto the TL bottom side. Vanguard's edge will lock them in place. CoreJJ will fall, and he'll spit up his lunch too. Nisqy's grabbing the kill, and TL's in the dirt.
Zeyzal has to be highlighted. That Braum ultimate passing through Doublelift to CoreJJ. They know Tahm Kench is the one to get. They're able to take down the bottom lane once again, getting too close to contest that dragon. There was no reason for Team Liquid, no incentive there to actually get out from under the tower, and they give over more gold to this Cloud9 onslaught.
Team Liquid looking a bit out of sorts here, you know, kind of crumbling under this immense amount of pressure that Cloud9 is actually putting on them non-stop, trying to force onto this bottom lane. Despite a well-timed devour from CoreJJ, you pointed it out, Kobe, you're so slow on this Tahm Kench, there's no real chance of escape.
I mean, you're stuck in the Vanguard's edge, too. As soon as you hit the blades, it's over. There was just too much manpower for Cloud9. And they are 3,500 gold ahead, 10 minutes into this game. No turrets have fallen. We're still pretty comfortably in the laning phase, and Cloud9 is just smashing this early game. Now they're onto the Rift Herald.
Cloud9, definitely the team that takes more risks, and also the team getting more rewards this time around. Rift Herald getting burned down. Impact does roam through, but they don't have vision on it, and he's actually been seen over this ward, so I would expect Cloud9 to further this plan. Topside is wide open. They've got the Rift Herald. They can not only use that Rift Herald to get the plates, they'll take the whole tower.
Yeah, Team Liquid very clearly kind of just handshaking on this. They had already sent 3 members down to that bot side, so they are going to try to get a turret for themselves in the bottom lane, but C9 will get this more quickly with the Rift, and the question becomes, when do you go back to top lane to try to deal with this? Because Cloud9 could potentially continue the push on the tier 2 if they want.
Bottom side, Doublelift and CoreJJ will get back as much plate money as they can. They will simply just surrender that top lane tier 1, not worried about it whatsoever. Sneaky will try to escort Shelly up to at least get the second charge off. You're seeing pinks coming out from Cloud9 throughout this top side jungle right now, pulling bodies over to potentially continue that push, as you said.
They might go for this dive here. Svenskeren positioning behind the tower. Xmithie hovering around and shadowing his top laner.
Throw out the Glacial Fissure. Impact's in danger. Svenskeren looking to find him. Nice body block coming out from Xmithie there. Still looking to make some sort of a play happen. Pole's going to make it a 1-for-1. And Cloud9 is behind enemy lines. Jensen's able to make some moves onto both bottom lane members. The pop onto Sneaky. And Xmithie's in retreat from Licorice. C9 brings in the entirety of the cavalry. The charge makes it happen, and the T2 is down.
Cloud9 is just playing so well together as a team, not backing down whatsoever. After that tough game one, they are just going right at TL and looking to punch him in the mouth.
They're not looking to. They've landed blow after blow after blow. TL's chin is hurting, Zeyzal. These guys are coming into this game with a plan and making it happen. Nisqy stealing away the red buff while he's at it.
Now you have to look at what is this going to mean considering the context of the team that Cloud9 have. With these double melee solo laners, they have to look for plays like this. They have to be a dive-heavy team that's willing to take these risks. Svenskeren is the Sejuani point person here, able to get the stun off. He gets dragged under the turret, but Cloud9 have more members that are on the same plan, and we come back to live with Nisqy getting the solo kill on Jensen.
Clap, clap, clap. That's how you do it, and you can see the smile on his face. Shuffle me into the Nexus at the end of game one. Hell no.
Nisqy is loving it. He was laughing as he getting that solo kill onto Jensen.
And it really illustrates what we were just talking about. When the map opens further, it really is a playground for this C9 composition. They have multiple melee solo laners with a Sejuani to stack up those stuns. They're looking for these picks. Kaisa, the perfect marksman, to join one of those picks across halfway towards the rest of the map here. Second outer tower now going down on the bottom side. You can see C9 trying to move in, take over that territory, and look for those opportunities.
And you can look at the gold lead showing itself in these item completions. Over on TL, you know, just the one item completed between mid and bot. You have 2 items completed for Sneaky. You have the Triforce plus a pickaxe already coming through here for Nisqy. Bad is going to go to worse for them.
Vanguard's edge didn't even connect in the replay, but he didn't need it. Man, that stun was beautiful.
Yeah, he had one sword in the ground already.
You think you can fight me?
That was so good. Nisqy's got to be feeling so pumped up about that one as Cloud9 will continue rampaging through this game. 5K gold up. Both turrets down in those side lanes before the 14-minute mark meant 10 plates without even considering the state of the mid lane turret. As C9, with this lead they've built for themselves, they know TL can't fight for the trade.
Especially since if anyone transitions here through the jungle, Braum, Sejuani. These Freljord champions are so good at controlling these small corridors. You can see even Impact having a hard time transitioning over to get farm on the bottom half of the map. This is where Cloud9's team is at its best.
Yeah, Cloud9 is really doing a good job denying vision this game. They're trying to make these rotations difficult for TL. You know, taking over this bottom quadrant of the map, you know, Impact is always going to have to walk the safe way. That means your rotations are going to be much slower between mid and bot than Cloud9, who could just cut straight through that jungle.
You saw the stats come up. It's about 1,000 gold in turret plates that stood out between these two teams. Only part of the lead C9 has built up for themselves as they're now going to keep pressuring on to the tier 2s. Oftentimes we see teams stall out around this point of the game. They don't have enough of a lead to push further into that enemy territory. But Cloud9 has done a substantial job here early on, and they're going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, as you can see with the zoom out, you mine away the jungle camps here, Wolves and Grom and Blue Buff taken away by Cloud9, while Team Liquid have to play protection considering the dive opportunities that are there with these tanky champions.
So now for TL, it is about slowing down the pace of the game, giving an opportunity for Jensen, for Doublelift to kind of claw their way back, farming up, completing these critical items, because we know how strong they can be in a team fight. You have this powerful front line, Vladimir and Varus, to be the kind of core damage dealers here for TL. So if you give them the opportunity, they can certainly make something happen with it.
And I think an important resource in them trying to accomplish that goal are the teleports, right?
Yeah.
Because Team Liquid, they can't afford to go too far out into enemy territory lest they get, lose the 1v1 or get picked off there. So if they have the teleports available like now with Jensen and Impact, then they can try and respond to the offensive play of Cloud9, and that's why you might see some hesitancy from C9 to actually call that play on the mid tower.
I do like this buy here from Nisqy, though, grabbing the Executioners. When you're up against Vladimir as well as the Aatrox, no matter who meets you in that side lane, this is going to give you a lot more pressure and seriously can make a huge difference in any potential 1v1.
I'm looking to see what Cloud9 does here for the next 3 minutes or so, because we're still away from Baron spawning. We're still away from the Drake spawning. Team Liquid is doing a good job defending the last remaining outer turret. And it's up to Cloud9, really, if anything's going to happen in this game anytime soon. Liquid's not going to be forcing a thing. If C9 decide they can find that window or just force it open like they have so far, maybe we'll see something. They're going into Team Liquid's jungle.
Again, retaining control of the jungle camps denies more income for Team Liquid in the meantime. Red buff coming up here. You can tell Team Liquid fishing around for a little bit of vision, try and get one of these objectives for themselves, but it's so dangerous considering the control Cloud9 have, and they could be laying a trap. Nisqy now showing topside though.
Nisqy dashing towards Jensen, but won't find a whole lot. And this is especially bad when you're playing Skarner. When you lose your Spire in your jungle, you're a melee minion. You walk up, you get cut out, you're dead. You walk up too close, you're still probably dead, even if you don't immediately get caught, because you're slow and you're weak and you got no mana.
At least he's a melee minion with a stopwatch, so maybe in the team fight,
maybe there's a way out.
He'll be able to, buy some time at least. But Cloud9 should just continue to keep this pressure up on Team Liquid. They're slowly increasing.
Yeah, and I think for them, they are happy to wait for this Baron. You have the Mountain Dragon, but this could be a potential chase down here onto Impact.
Impact's in some trouble. Giving himself healed up, though. Nice use of the World Ender and the extra damage and the extra healing. But Licorice has extra buddies coming down. Sneaky goes in looking to finish this one off. Impact's able to knock him up into the air. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Xmithie dragging Sneaky back, taking him very low, and that's the trade.
The teleport got stopped from Jensen, though. They solo killed Jensen on the top side as he was trying to TP in, and Nisqy is pressuring the base.
If there's ever a time to get a solo kill, that is it. Nisqy will kick that door in as Zeyzal and Svenskeren are pushing onto the tier 1 mid. Pings are coming out from TL onto the top side. They want to stop Nisqy, but he should be able to back away in time.
Even sweeter, killing your replacement there. Able to take down Jensen, who they thought was the better mid laner. Team Liquid took him away last year, but Nisqy takes him away from this series. Tower down, inhibitor exposed, and C9 using that opening very effectively.
Yeah, their defenses are crumbling. 5 towers knocked down here pre-20 minutes. They're going to have the Ocean as well as the Mount, which is going to give them a lot of power to play around this potential Baron as it is spawning here soon.
This game is so exciting for the rest of the series. With Team Liquid having that opener, game number 1, and getting the champions we associate with those players, for Cloud9 to strike back this quickly in game 2 really does mean it's going to be exciting. Here we go, though. Ultimate does land.
Chains of Corruption on Zeyzal, but he drops the Glacial Fissure to get himself away. C9 has to be careful to not overcommit to this defense. They will keep their support alive. Xmithie used the Predator, but he did not find anything with it. Considering he went for the Gargoyle Stoneplate second instead of the Righteous Glory, that means there's not a lot of initiation potential here from TL, and that's a free drink for Cloud9.
That was a very important timing on that play as well. Baron spawning now 20 minutes in. If you lose your key member right before the Baron spawn, everything can go downhill. Nisqy sees him right in vision, though.
Yeah.
Goes right up the minions. Jensen, no respect for Nisqy there.
That was just terrible. He saw him on the minions.
Well, now it's going to be more trouble for Team Liquid as Doublelift gets himself caught out, having to pop the summoners, getting himself away. CoreJJ is going to be taken down next. The flank has arrived, and so has Cloud9. They will evaporate Team Liquid in front of their eyes. It's a 1-for-4, and they're on to the Baron.
C9 just running all over Team Liquid in game number 2 here. Baron will be theirs, and it looks like they are going to straight for the base.
What a move by C9.
Yeah, that was a huge fight for them. 21 minutes, and they are on the Red Bull power play here. Gonna be seeing if they can close out this game or at least extend that gold lead even more.
Team Liquid once again exposing themselves to these picks we're talking about, with the hard initiation from Svenskeren on Sejuani starting it off, and the flank from Licorice's Kled. He teleports in to the right side of mid lane for the perfect Kled ultimate right in onto Doublelift. coming from multiple points. This is a signature C9 team fight we have come to expect over this summer.
Yeah, they have been so quick to actually coordinate on these fights. That was Sneaky TPing on one side, Licorice TPing on the other side, as Svenskeren goes for the engagement. That is exactly the kind of team fighting you want to see. Cloud9 now getting the Baron buff in all 3 lanes. They are looking to close the trap here on TL and look to push themselves to this game 3.
I mentioned in game 1 how Team Liquid has a fast game time when they took their Baron. Cloud9 took this one earlier, and they already have the base opened up with the tier 3 turret that Nisqy found top lane just a little while ago. That means I am fully expecting to see some inhibitors in ruins by the time this buff wears off. They got to do the due diligence, though. Take the spires, put down the wards, secure the entirety of the jungle as they move forward, and choke TL out of this game.
And they have such dominant solo laners. You really, with that open inhibitor on the top side, can just wait to establish an advantage there. And now Impact is moving away from that top side. TL knows they're going to have to force something because you will slowly bleed out of this, so they need to look for a potential engage.
Nobody can answer Nisqy at this point either. Irelia with Ignite up in the bottom side. Nobody's even heading to that half of the map. You can see Team Liquid, nobody wants that duty, and Nisqy's able to get the minions all the way into the turret. Even with 4 members mid, they can't force everything. This is a Braum, Kai'Sa, both with QSSs.
Xmithie tries to go up to the top side, but Licorice isn't too worried about it here just yet. Push is going to continue. Zeyzal looking to get himself away, but he's going to be collapsed on. Stopwatch will buy the time, and Team Liquid looking to start the fight. Health bar's going to be taken low. Sneaky's going on a killing spree as Xmithie's also about to die. The damage continues ticking, but Licorice has to get himself back over the wall. CoreJJ and Doublelift will continue the chase, and Piercing Arrow finds his heart.
Team Liquid much needed defense there. The Baron up C9 have been thwarted. Round number 2 though, they return. Nisqy going deep onto Jensen again.
Ain't no reason to pump the brakes just yet here for
Nisqy's
C9,
low.
but Nisqy down to 10% means it's time to get out. CoreJJ is taken low. Jensen's going to be kept alive by transfusion. Sneaky goes 1-for-1 with him, and Cloud9 is still popping off.
Sneaky forces the Cloud9 victory in that team fight. Oh my goodness. Flash and ult in to take down the Vladimir. They know if they don't take out that pivotal sustained mage from the mid lane, they won't get through. Impact has revived though, and he's back at it.
Impact and Xmithie trying to make the 2-man defense. Svenskeren dashing away, barely going to be keeping himself alive. Nisqy now behind enemy lines, drawing the turret aggro, trying to find a way to outplay this one, but I don't think there's any way out. And Xmithie gets him with the chainsaw.
Team Liquid are going to hold the line, though. C9 do get some kills, but they do not lose an inhibitor critically, despite being so far behind at this point in the game. And this is C9 trying to initiate a fairly aggressive posture. Doublelift catches Zeyzal with the ultimate, and Jensen takes the opportunity to dive straight in.
And with a big Vanguard's edge coming from Nisqy, they take down the first kill. No stun there on Xmithie, so he gets to go back to Fountain and heal after this. Licorice getting sniped down by Doublelift on the end. You think that's a stop to it, but the minions come through. Baron buff on. Jensen pulled down. Means that Sneaky's going to look for this with Kai'Sa. He has Killer Instinct available. Even with Nisqy getting jumped back, we return to live and they got a pick.
The violence continues as Licorice could be in a bad spot, but Sneaky comes over the wall and Cloud9 brings in the backup. Dragon's gonna be taken by Doublelift, but the fight still rages. Jensen drops to Sneaky, and now they're looking to bring more damage into Licorice. Team Liquid will try to make their stand.
Doublelift taking over!
And Doublelift just slaughtered everyone!
Quadra kill for Doublelift. He is refusing to lose this game. Found the perfect positioning in that corridor. He stand, he fought, and he came up with 4 huge kills.
Only Nisqy remains from Cloud9. Team Liquid, when backed into a corner, will show their teeth, and they continue to hang on.
All right, so they were going down for the Dragon, then head back up through the jungle here. Pull starts it out onto Licorice, and you have the full commitment. Sneaky ulting in once again as the Kai'Sa onto Jensen, takes down that one. But once Doublelift returns from the Dragon, C9 have no way to get back to this Varus. Svenskeren tries to charge him, but there's no follow-up there, and he's able to free fire. He even flashes forward to get those last two.
And you have got to remember, there was no Nisqy there. They took this fight without him. Doublelift coming up, this positioning in the corridor. The ultimate connecting on multiple members. The piercing arrows going through. You can see the hurricane bolts flying through there. And when he sees Sneaky low, no hesitation, flashing past the Braum shield there to knock down the third and fourth kills.
All right, Cloud9, they need to slow it down. Pump the brakes right now. The Baron is back on the table. They have double Ocean as well as a Mountain Drake. They should be able to control the biggest objective on the map, rather than continue to throw themselves at Team Liquid. If they make more of these mistakes, then this is very winnable for Team Liquid.
I mean, Jensen is closing in on his death cap. When you hit that death cap Spellbinder combo, you are in range of one comboing some of these carries.
It is still a long ways away. It's 10,000 gold lead for Cloud9, but the last couple of fights have started to bring those images to the forefront.
But critically, these fights have been in Team Liquid territory. They've not been the most well prepared.
And they didn't even have Nisqy for the last one.
Right. Cloud9 is now once again in neutral ground. The Baron bit does not belong to TL. Cloud9's making sure of that right now with control wards and sweepers and everything else. And when they're 5 men strong, TL has to be oh so careful about how close they walk to this.
Now, the ideal setup for Cloud9, they should be able to retain these control wards in the Baron pit. And then you have Sejuani be able to jump over the wall for the initiation with a Kled ultimate to come through this corridor here to find the pick on the Team Liquid. But Zeyzal actually gets stunned up first.
Xmithie there on the front line. Glacial Fissure going to be interrupting this one. Zeyzal taken low, but not low enough. Cloud9 have got themselves the Baron, and now the charge will sound. The fight's going to be breaking out. Into the back line goes the Vladimir, but Jensen's going to be popped immediately. Impact now going to be soaking the damage. Xmithie also going to be taken very low. And Cloud9 brings the storm to Team Liquid. Doublelift is chased down, beat down. He's going home, and Cloud9 will win the fight.
The door to the base is already open, and Cloud9 will push through for a victory in Game 2.
We are going to be all tied up. Game 1 was all Team Liquids, but Game 2, Cloud9 came to play.
Hot damn, we got a series, boys. This is showing both teams at their best in these first 2 games. Cloud9 take the Nexus.
You have got to give so much credit to Cloud9, bouncing right back after a devastating Game 1. Svenskeren right back in MVP form, 4-3-20 on the Sejuani. No, you did not hear me wrong. 20 assists, Kobe!
And hey, 25 assists for Zeyzal. A final kill score of 12, 5, and 10 for Sneaky. I have criticized them throughout Summer Split, and I believe rightfully so. But I've got to give credit where credit is due as well. These guys are stepping up when it matters most.
Big changes in this game. They get Team Liquid off of some of their most prized picks, and they take advantage. Cloud9's bottom lane, the focus of their strategy. Again and again, throwing more members down there. Sneaky and Zeyzal's success is the key to this series.
It really is, and you've got to say now, as Xmithie, it's so hard to predict where Cloud9 is going to go, right? You know, there were so many options for Svenskeren, you know, attacking top lane, attacking mid lane, and I think they got such a good advantage in the draft with multiple kind of pushing lanes in the solos. It allowed them the flexibility to go anywhere.
They definitely showed up here in the second game, and to give us a breakdown of how it all happened, we're sending things back to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Flowers. Cloud9 have brought us to 1-1, so we've brought WWE superstar Cesaro onto the desk to help us make sense of it all and how it's breaking down here in North America. I say how it's breaking down here in North America because you were just over in the LPL not a couple days ago, getting to watch the LPL fight through some sick battles.
Yeah, that's true. I actually got to kick off the LPL playoffs with my friend Xavier Woods from Up Up Down Down, WB's gaming YouTube channel. So it was cool to see the LPL and their playing style, and I think we saw some of that play style here in Game 2.
Right, not shying away from a fight. That's basically the signature move.
All team fights, and I love it.
All right, so Cloud9 maybe taking a page out of the LPL's playbook there and looking to find those fights. I want to take a look at Champion Select. Game 1, there was audible boos around the entire stadium as the Karma was picked up and then hovered again here in Game 2, but it gets swapped over to the Kled.
Yeah, one of my favorite developments of the Detroit Finals is when Karma is hovered, it gets boos. And I'm glad that C9 opted away from it. The entire team composition was so much better for C9 than in Game 1. In Game 1, they had Thresh and Veigar for unreliable engage. In Game 2, all 5 members of their team could start a team fight, and you saw that in multiple plays this game.
I think a big part of it was also that Nisqy got Irelia. That can't happen again. He is unbelievable. The 1v1 outplays that he had, I've never seen an Irelia played like that.
Yeah, you can see some of the difficulty maybe for the red side for Team Liquid, having to throw out that Yuumi ban, not being able to maybe take that Irelia off the table. Sejuani, referencing again your experience now over in LPL, and then here just yesterday, we had the Poppies coming out. Now we've got the Kled. You yourself are a top laner. How are you feeling about the way that the meta is developing here in this series around the top lane?
Well, like I said, I'm really happy that Karma top gets booed here in Detroit. I think we should keep that everywhere. You know, I always like the kind of off-meta picks, or the different picks than what we see. So I'm really big fan of the Kled top lane. Maybe we see Poppy top lane coming out. Maybe we even see Yuumi Garen, bot. Maybe, who knows?
I would love some Yuumi Garen. Speaking of the bot lane, I got to talk about Svenskeren's attention to the bot lane and then rolled around the entire map. Definitely having a little bit more of that MVP look this time around. Zeyzal citing that 20 assists.
Yeah, he was super unpredictable here, going with a really nice timing on the bottom lane. And the great thing was that they stunned the Tahm Kench before going for the Doublelift, so he could not get the Devour on time. And Xmithie actually picked up all that farm, and you would have thought that Xmithie would get ahead, but then Svenskeren finds him, and the fact that you give away this skill completely snowballs the game.
And I thought this was doubly bad because Xmithie had actually skipped his Krugs trying to catch up on tempo and still died. And at that point, this is just C9 piling everyone bottom.
Sejuani, this is the LPL Classic right here.
Classic, just a good team fight, tower dives, action.
And this was amazing from Cloud9. Commit all 5 members, but I would have liked to see Team Liquid teleport sooner. You know that Cloud9 is going to go for this play. They had ample time to scout it out, but instead they chose to go in late and everyone died.
And I think the thing that caught TL off guard there was the Kled, because he had previously died to a gank. The instant he respawned, he teleported into alt Doublelift in that play as Doublelift was trying to retreat to his turret.
It didn't end there. Cloud9 with an advantage, with a gold lead, is the most willing team to press their advantages. Let's go now into the mid game where they just keep pulling the trigger.
You can see they're really in their comfort zone once they can do this. And to Crumbs' point, especially Nisqy, the difference between him in this game and when he was playing on Veigar is completely night and day. Not only this, but multiple solo kills throughout the game.
Yeah, Nisqy, but the fact that they were playing so quickly to accelerate the rest of the map, they were no slouches in trying to make sure that you were getting objectives constantly around the map. And they're going to actually go with this play into what I believe is a tower dive in the top lane. Well, but that actually already happened. This is the greatest outplay that we had all game of the 1v1.
That was one of a couple solo kills that would come through for Nisqy up there against Jensen. Another one to stop a teleport and perhaps a turn for Team Liquid later in the game. Sejuani, you're rather new to League of Legends. You started playing just about a year ago, right?
Just about a year ago, and it's,
So talk to me about the experience of watching these teams, understanding the history as we've kind of built it up here today between both these teams really, duking it out for a title.
See, it's awesome because, it's 1-1, and we've seen dominant games from both teams. So, I want to see a Game 5, and just to be here with the crowd, it's awesome. And I think, here's the thing, WWE, we feed off the crowd, and I believe the players feed off the crowd too, because when they hear the crowd roar, that just gives you that extra power, that gives you that extra motivation. And I think especially in Game 2, there was no hesitation from C9. There was just every time they went in, they committed 100%. And I feel like once you get that momentum and once you get the crowd, you just go.
And I think that's growth for C9. Exactly a year ago, they got 3-0'd by TL on the same stage. Svenskeren learning from that and being able to bounce back here in Game 2.
Yeah, this is the final fight. Team Liquid about 10,000 gold behind, and the no hesitation from Cloud9 immediately. Normally you would have seen, we got Baron. There's no need to continue to fight, but they just say, if we win this fight, we don't have to deal with the inhibitor push. We can just end the game right here, right now, and put Team Liquid into Game 3.
There were a couple messy fights in the mid game where TL looked to find a couple of stabs back into the game, but as you say, C9 may be taking that breath to get calm, cool, collect, remember what their win conditions are, pick up that Baron, and ultimately end it.
That's where Sneaky comes in. This guy has 7 years of LCS experience. He's the guy that always keeps Cloud9 calm and collected. Remember, guys, do your steps. That's what he tells. That's the guys, so that they don't overcommit and make those mistakes like that 4v5 they took without Nisqy.
TL is going to take blue side, Jat. Cesaro said he wants 5 games. So, either team could take it here, but for Team Liquid, how do they keep that tit-for-tat kind of play here?
I think we've seen that the teams will probably have a draft advantage on blue side. Irelia, Qiyana, and Gragas were the 3 bans by Team Liquid in Game 1. The biggest thing to pay attention to is the mid lane matchup, and does Nisqy have a comfortable melee mid-champion that he can play aggressive with? In Game 1, they banned Akali themselves and didn't dare Jensen to pick it. I want to see either Jensen on a melee, Casino's going to try and force that, or TL is going to try and force Nisqy onto a range matchup. I think the mid lane has actually been incredibly pivotal in the series.
Cesaro, we have 2 games of evidence, 1-1. What's your gut feeling? Who's going to take it in our 5-game series?
Okay, so I'm just going to say C9 in game 5.
Woo! There it is. All 3 of my analysts at the top of
gut
the day,
feeling.
they said
All
Team
gut feeling.
Liquid, but we've got a C9 prediction here. Thank you so much for joining us on the
Thanks
desk
for having me. I
today.
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
As we go to break,
Thank you.
though, you're going to get an early look at the Alienware Aurora R9 desktop. Alienware will be upgrading the LCS studios in Los Angeles with the R9 for the kickoff of the 2020 season. On the other side, Team Liquid and Cloud9, they hop back onto the rift for Game 3. CoreJJ is the target. They know he's able to just gobble Doublelift up and keep him safe. Doublelift is devoured for now, but he's going to be taken down. I'm fine.
Blood. Stun. He's done. Kill him.
Nice. Vanguard's edge will lock them in place. CoreJJ will fall, and he'll spit up his lunch too. Jensen's able to make some moves onto both bottom lane members. The pop onto Sneaky, and Xmithie's in retreat from Licorice. C9 brings in the entirety of the cavalry. The charge makes it happen, and the T2 is down.
I got tag on him.
I'm on dance.
Yeah, mash the flash. Kill them all. I got tag. Kill the Aatrox.
Team Liquid will try to make their stand.
Take it over.
And Doublelift just slaughtered everyone. Impact now going to be soaking the damage. Xmithie also going to be taken very low. And Cloud9 brings the storm to Team Liquid. It up.
Yeah, we definitely are. A little bit of generosity with that teleport in Nisqy's face, perhaps.
Suspicious, actually.
And in case you're just now joining us, welcome back to Little Caesars Arena here for the LCS Summer Finals presented by Rocket Mortgage. We are tied up 1-1. Team Liquid having a strong showing there in the first game. Cloud9 doing the same thing in the second as we get our way into this third game where once again Team Liquid will be on the blue side.
And these 2 teams, for me, really exemplify 2 classic styles. Team Liquid, front-to-back, 5-person team fighting Doublelift and Jensen on these carries for mid and late game team fights. But Cloud9, hard engaged, getting in there very quick and very fast into the game. They showed in this one, number 2, how they can also win games through these very quick engages to set them up for diving towers, for making plays through the jungle, and use that to control their objectives.
Cloud9 is back on cat duty as we make our way into the third champion select. Yuumi banned away from them first ban. Sona's also going to be joining it, keeping that one away from Doublelift as Team Liquid is going to focus the solo lanes. Irelia banned out, I can completely understand. And Qiyana also taken away.
Yeah, Irelia, I believe, was their blue side game 1 ban as well. So didn't ban it on the red side. It is back on the table. The Qiyana, the Gragas, as expected, coming through.
Yeah, same ban so far. I would expect Cloud9. And they leave up the Akali this time around. That should be an instant lock for Jensen. Just currently on this patch, Akali does so much damage. She's very hard to answer in a side lane leader on, as well as having the invisibility to navigate team fights.
This to me, though, is saying Cloud9 wants to go Zyra right here, 1-2. After that, Akali gets locked in, because you are kind of baiting this Akali. You're banning out the Caitlyn for the Caitlyn Morgana. You're saying, Doublelift, you will not play Draven with that Morgana. You will not play that other counter, but perhaps we're not even going to see the Zyra, and that becomes a lot more surprising than to me as a left up ban. Well, okay, we're getting one part.
Yeah, we're going to get the Xayah locked in here, along with the Sylas that we've seen banned out the previous 2 games.
Team Liquid have shown they are very willing to break up the Xayah Rakan combo. Just getting Rakan for CoreJJ, so I don't expect it to be any different here. Even if you do play the Leona into it, giving up that combo is so devastating early on. It is going to be that Alistar that's been banned out. Zeyzal, one of the best at sneaking into these pockets of Fog of War to find those flanking gauges for Cloud9, to find those team fights we were just talking about for them with the very quick, hard engage coming at you very early.
And this is already an exciting draft because of the fact that 3 out of these first 6 picks are previous bans from the other games. Akali, Sylas, Alistar all active here as Cloud9 are going to hit the jungle pool a little bit, ban out the Trundle.
Yeah, you're banning the Trundle, you're then saying, okay, TL, you have to ban out Sejuani here, or we are going to pick it as our next pick, first round of that second kind of phase of picks. Kled going to be taken off the table though. So with the Irelia banned out, with the Kled banned out, you can take an opposite approach and say, no, we're going to ban out the things that pair well with that Sejuani perhaps and reduce some of your threat in that way. There is also something along the lines of Renekton, which can work quite well, as a pairing with Sejuani. So we'll see if TL want to leave that up or if they are going to take that Sejuani away.
Olaf banned out by Cloud9 here.
They're probably thinking that there's a high likelihood of the Sylas being jungle too.
Yeah.
So that might be one of the big things. They have to think about what ultimates are going to be stolen as well. What are they going to shore up as far as the Kled ban too? Aatrox is still available. It's been one of the champions. Impact has really controlled a lot of team fights for Team Liquid and give them a lot of that even footing.
Karma, the last ban away.
Where are the cheers? There we go.
Fans around the country rejoice.
I mean, that to me says that TL wants Aatrox for Impact, trying to avoid that matchup, which is pretty annoying in the early levels. Karma played a lot worldwide into that, but taking away the Aatrox here, as you say, Sylas can easily be going to that jungle, and this does give them a little bit more flexibility. Wouldn't surprise CGP though.
When am I going to see more North American top laners play Camille besides Ruin? Who is going to be willing to do it? It has been so effective in the LCK in Korea. But, GP, as you mentioned, has been one of Impact's most played champions, best champions as well. So it might be them just sticking with what they have known.
Nope. Lizard locked in for the side of Team Liquid. Renekton, the choice to go up against that Aatrox.
Yeah, another pretty strong matchup actually, into the Aatrox. These days, people are just doing the straight Shojin rush pretty much every single game. With the slice and dice, you can actually avoid the sweet spots on a lot of these Aatrox queues, and you are going to have a lot of early game power. And we're just waiting for this jungle pick here for Xmithie. And anything he grabs, you have a lot of early game potential and really good setup with this Renekton.
Well, here we go again. Skarner locked in for TL. They still have faith in Xmithie. Remember, his second loss of his LCS career handed to him on this champion by Cloud9 last game. Still having faith in the pick, and rightfully so. Cloud9 looking like they're going to run back the same jungle matchup here with the Sejuani.
Yeah, those Trundle bans, it turns out, likely will result in the Sejuani pick here. This means they are going to have Sylas as a solo laner. I'm expecting that to go to Nisqy in the mid lane. We have seen this Sylas versus Akali matchup so many times, especially when you think back to MSI. This was such a prevalent matchup, and Sylas can really come out on top.
Oh, you're bringing up MSI where Caps defeated Jensen in both sides of the Sylas Akali matchup. Like he has learned from the experience, though. Let's see how well Nisqy can do. Generally early, I like Akali. Plus, they've got the Renekton on the top side, so I feel like Team Liquid this time around, Xmithie does have quite a few options. That being said, Sejuani pairs so well with both Aatrox and the Sylas as far as getting those snap initiations. You can close the distance and get permafrost up very quickly.
And this was also actually the matchup that he played in Game 1 against Clutch, against Damonte, where Damonte was the one who came out on top and was able to get that solo kill in the 1v1. So we'll see if Jensen can fare better here today against Nisqy's Sylas.
And as we work our way onto the Rift, the man who I'm going to be watching the closest in the first few minutes of gameplay is Svenskeren once again. Game number 1, the first gank fails, the flash is expended. The early game just completely runs out of gas for Cloud9, and Liquid ends up running them over. Game number 2, he gets off to the start that he was looking for. He takes over the whole map, and Cloud9 goes with him. I feel like he's the catalyst for the entirety of the early game for both sides.
Thus far, too, so goes the bottom lane, so goes the game. This time around, Nisqy on the Xayah, Doublelift on the Kai'Sa. Who's going to be able to get the early edge?
The gates are down, the champions are out. Everybody's out onto Summoner's Rift here to see who's going to pull ahead, take us to that match point. Team Liquid rocking that mid lane Akali that did so much work in the past. But as we wait for minions to collide, we got another sideline report standing by for all y'all. Avali is here with the newest addition to 100 Thieves.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Yasuo, the newest addition to 100 Thieves content team. I gotta ask you, we are standing in the middle of the arena. What do you think of Detroit in the finals so far?
The finals are great. The people are great. This might be like my favorite finals, and the games aren't even over.
That being said, who are you rooting for here today?
I gotta go with Team Liquid. I'm assuming they're gonna go 3-1. That's my prediction. I gotta go with my roommate Jensen. Also, you said content creation. I might go pro soon. Just saying. Watch out for that. So.
How soon?
Next split, we're talking.
Next split, you heard it here first. Let's see Yasuo move in there. But thank you, and back to you guys.
Hey, fellow One Trick, it is hard to play in competitive environments as a One Trick. When you name yourself after a champion, I'm able to count the amount of tricks you have on one finger. Let's see if Yasuo can make that happen in the future.
All right, quickly going in for the Aftershock trade there. You can see this is different from the Conqueror that we have seen pretty prevalent as well. Neither of them opting for that Keystone stacking up. It's about that burst trade for both of them. Electrocute versus the extra resistances from Aftershock, and Nisqy goes back in again.
Nisqy trying to get the early edge on Jensen there in the trade, but Jensen making sure he prolonged it long enough to get that damage back. Bottom side, Zeyzal and Sneaky, Doublelift and CoreJJ. Both times in these previous games, it has been the blue side constantly keeping the red side shoved up underneath the turret. We've seen the Drake go blue both times early on, as Zeyzal just tries to knock these guys around a little bit. And Nisqy does not stop here in the mid lane. However, Jensen with the tower shot looking to turn things back around, as Sneaky is also taken very low bottom side.
Yeah, look at the evolution of summer spells too. Both bottom lanes taking heal and ignite for themselves. Sneaky and Zeyzal getting pushed off the minion wave as Doublelift gets to that level 2.
Yeah, heal down, potion down, no teleport. So if you can keep this pressure up, keep Sneaky low, an early recall can be pretty devastating. They're actually going to take this lane pressure to get a deep ward here over by that blue buff. Knowing that both of those camps are up does tell you that Svenskeren did a full camp clear on the top side, and they're going to be knowing this Sejuani can be heading their way.
No more sustain in the mid lane, and Jensen!
Nisqy, he's in trouble, and he's first blood. Jensen grabs it, but Svenskeren's there to clean up.
But that solo kill going to Jensen so big. You know, Nisqy not alive to get that experience. He gets no goal but the assist here. And Jensen off to a great start. Double longsword is the buy.
Yeah, the big thing about getting first blood, all of the money for it goes over to the killer. Jensen gets the bonus there. Meanwhile, the assisted kill is actually a big thing to have the extra assist money on the side of Cloud9, but it's split, and Nisqy only gets half. Take a look at him going in for this trade. Really nice land of the E there for Jensen. He knows he can chase it at that point. I think there might have been a little bit of miscommunication from Cloud9 between Svenskeren and Nisqy, because if Nisqy communicated a bit earlier that he was going to go for this dangerous trade with Jensen and bait him in, I think they could have pulled that off without a death.
Svenskeren making his way into mid lane. Jensen using the smoke and the speed to get away from the chains.
Yeah, the wave here was actually in a pretty difficult spot. Nisqy decided to run back to lane, and Svenskeren failed to push in the wave fully. So with that TP from Jensen, he was actually able to pull the wave to the side and start a partial freeze. But Svenskeren now heading to that bottom side, looking to prey on the TL bottom lane as he did in game 2.
Here we go. Zeyzal's got the flash to start things off. CoreJJ and Doublelift in retreat. Their health bars aren't looking bad at all.
Burning through summoner spells like nothing down here on the bottom side. Only 2 remain. CoreJJ and Sneaky with their flashes from that visit from Svenskeren. Once again, Svenskeren just visited mid lane, so Team Liquid could communicate that he's headed down to the bottom side. Xmithie now
Here comes the Skarner. Zeyzal and Nisqy, they're low on mana. Nisqy's gonna be tagged there by the Skarner poison, but now Zeyzal's got no way out, and Doublelift's grabbing the kill.
He ran right over the scuttle, and the C9 bottom lane did not back off fast enough.
It's something I highlight all the time, but punishing offensively blown summoner spells. Cloud9 just used that flash and then engaged for their side to try and get onto Doublelift, and then Doublelift is saying, hey, this guy flashed on me, immediately punish this Alistar. Xmithie, don't let him get away with it. And there comes your trusty jungler.
For both sides, the jungler's heavily investing here in this bottom lane. CoreJJ going in after Nisqy. Remember, Nisqy's still got the flash ready to go. Xmithie in hot pursuit, wants to go for the auto attack, not going to be able to. TP coming in, Nisqy's in some trouble, not going to be taken down just yet. The damage is not there, and Xmithie is going home in a body bag. Cloud9 reinforcements have arrived.
Party time in the bottom lane! Everybody has arrived except for Jensen, who has no teleport. And this is going to be C9 trying to push in the wave. However, Jensen gets a full one into the mid lane tower, and he already had the CS lead due to the early gank and the aftermath of that one. So Akali, once again for Team Liquid, in the hands of Jensen with this big lead is going to be such a hope for them moving towards the mid game and possibilities of side lane pressure.
So it was actually that ward rush that saw Nisqy walk into that forward ward, and that is why they call Xmithie down to try to get this free gank and kill off Nisqy. Nisqy just barely able to flash away though, as Svenskeren had just barely enough CC to actually lock down the Skarner and keep his AD safe.
Yeah, it's interesting there. Cloud9 do get the kill, but still Team Liquid ahead in gold here. Jensen denying a lot of both gold and experience to that mid tower. You can see Nisqy is still level 5 on the Sylas. If you continue to put the Sylas behind in this matchup, the Akali with the kill pressure here is going to be super happy.
I mean, Jensen's almost 7. Jensen is 7. That's, you know, a huge lead right now, you know, over a level at this moment in time. I'm assuming Nisqy is going to be closing in on 6 here, but still, that is a very big deal. You know, getting towards that Q-max, an additional point in that ability is going to help you out a lot.
Now, one of the biggest things when comparing these two mid laners has been the emphasis on roaming for Nisqy and Jensen with lane domination. But this game is a game where you are looking at the Akali with multiple opportunities across the map. So will Team Liquid make use of Jensen's early start here and try and get him to move around and pick up more kills? If the bottom lane continues to burn summoner spells basically on cooldown, then it should be a hot spot for action.
Xmithie also one camp off 6. I wonder if he can leech enough experience here to actually get 6 if there is a potential fight, because Svenskeren has it. He did get 6 off those minions.
Everybody's ready to go, and Nisqy has stolen the Akali ultimate. Perfect executions could be going back and forth. Xmithie coming around trying to maybe find the stun onto Svenskeren, but both sides going to walk away there. The flail plus the Skarner shield dissuading both sides from going near one another. All right, no fight.
There's a roam from top side. You can also keep track of impact there on the Renekton. Pushed in the wave versus Licorice and threatened to move down. So all these factors here contributing to them calling off the mid lane play. Now bottom lane moves up.
Oh, we are not done yet. Xmithie has found his target, and Svenskeren is going to be the focus here at the beginning. CoreJJ and Doublelift coming around from behind. Jensen's able to grab kill number 1. Nisqy's going to be dropping down for kill number 2. Cloud9 grabbing one in response, but Zeyzal's in some trouble. It's beef for dinner, and the Alistar's going to fall. Xmithie needs one more hit for it, but he's trying to give it over to Doublelift. He'll go on a killing spree, and TL win the fight.
Yep, creating that play around the mid lane, their center of power. Even though it's the early roam up there, Cloud9 having an extra member fall.
Yeah, the big winner here has got to be Doublelift. 3-0-0 now on the scaling champion of the Kai'Sa. Going to be monstrously strong, and here it is one more time, poking off that passive. Full CC chain, very well done here, you know, from Xmithie and Jensen. You can see Jensen was holding his R2 to try to avoid skill shots, try to avoid abilities there.
Yeah, and also waiting for the aftershock to fall off of Sejuani so he could complete the burst. As we said, even though C9 bottom lane roams first, Doublelift and CoreJJ immediately take down Nisqy. So they're able to get the trailing member of Cloud9, and without that marksman there, he chased down the extra kill. And it is now a very strong Kai'Sa to wheel with.
CoreJJ fighting for some control here over the vision with Zeyzal. as we might actually see the first contested Drake. First Drake, I should say, of the series. Usually these have gone over to whichever team was ahead at the time. Considering this game is still pretty close, Cloud9 are deciding they want to start things up here, pulling it out of the pit. TL hanging around nearby.
They don't want to give it up here. They've got such a massive gold lead in this game. When the controller in the Pixel Brush sees him, ultimate on Skarner not available, nor on Sejuani.
The Drake's going to be taken low. Here goes Zeyzal looking to start things off. Xmithie going to be brought very low, brought down. Now the damage coming right back into the Cloud9 lines. Licorice grabbing the kill onto Xmithie. CoreJJ getting away. Double kill over to 2 Licorice, as it's also going to be a double for Jensen. Can they find more? It looks like yes. Jensen is gone, and Licorice gets the spree. CoreJJ is now trapped in the enemy jungle, and Cloud9 will hunt him down.
Zeyzal showing that they should have banned the Alistar again. That engage for Cloud9 will, in the end, get them 4 kills on top of the Mountain Drake. What a massive play here for Cloud9. All started off the back of this Alistar. The Sejuani ults down, the Skarner ults down, then it's up to Zeyzal.
Yeah, Nisqy dashing in the middle of everyone. He had stolen the Renekton ult, giving him so much additional tankiness. Now watch Doublelift here. This could have been even worse for them. Ulting across the fight to actually get over to Sneaky and escape this 3-man squad from Cloud9 that was running rampant through this Team Liquid team. And despite the fact that this is a 3v3, it's all full health bars on Cloud9.
Nisqy, Svenskeren, and Licorice, the 3 Bash Bros there for Cloud9. Unstoppable wrecking crew, able to clean that one up.
And the most damage in the fight goes over to Licorice on this Aatrox, having to play against it the past 2 games, now getting his chance to pilot it himself and doing a damn fine job so far. 3-0 and 0 as Team Liquid have control over the topside river. They'll take down Shelly, but they've still got to secure the eye. Cloud9's going to be fighting for this one. TP's coming in. Zeyzal the target. Impact also going to be brought very low. Nearly bursted down. He gets away, but only for a moment. The stunts continue over the wall, and Xmithie is on the run. Nisqy stays alive while zoning away the rest of Team Liquid, and Xmithie falls. It's 2 plus Rift Herald for the side of Cloud9. Team Liquid trying to do something off the back end of the fight. They will lose their mid laner. Yes, they got the Rift Herald, but C9 get 3.
Cloud9, again, using the difference in pace to their advantage. The multiple forms of hard CC we mentioned in Champion Select for them to choose the team fights. They continue to fire, and Team Liquid unable to react quick enough. CoreJJ and Doublelift, the lone members of Team Liquid, left to pick up the scraps as the minions feed into the tower.
Jensen's eyes, I think he just got a little bit too big there. As you see these low health bars, he didn't have his ultimate, so there wasn't much chance of a flank, but now the TP coming in here, looking for Nisqy, who is without that ultimate.
Oh, Jensen is bloodthirsty here. Second 5-point strike, not gonna find the mark, and Jensen won't get anything.
We'll at least be able to push this in, you know, get that TP down. But here it is one more time, and the engage again from Zeyzal. He is just engaging these on a dime, and Nisqy coming in from behind, grabs the ult from Akali, and this is what allowed him to really dive deep and chase in here. The TL bottom lane were almost able to burst him down, but not quite. So Jensen is seeing, all right, Nisqy's really low. Licorice just took a bunch of tower shots. Maybe I can do something here, but he didn't have the ultimate up yet. And he just gets locked down and knocked down as the trample from Alistar reveals where you are in that stealth.
Cloud9 fully aligned on that play. You can see as soon as they see Impact isolated from the rest of the team, Zeyzal pushes everyone off to create room for the rest of his team. And it just seems like Cloud9 is so much more confident in these earlier plays, and the timing's coming through. Team Liquid having a hard time to get that reset.
Jensen trying to get away from Nisqy here, returning some damage in the mid lane. Zeyzal makes his way over. He knocks Jensen out of the smoke, but Nisqy is very low. CoreJJ is not going to provide the CC they need, and Svenskeren has shown up on the side.
Once again, Cloud9 with the outplay. Nisqy steals the quickness, zooms right away, and that is a denial of the kill. Doublelift farming the whole time up on the top side, will whittle away at the turret for Team Liquid.
But look at Svenskeren, he's behind him, so is Zeyzal. They're gonna try to set up this dive here.
Svenskeren and Zeyzal providing the CC. Nisqy's there for the damage, but the smoke is down and Jensen's kept alive. C9's dive will not find the mark, but now they've got their chance to put the hurt on the turret.
Yeah, they stay true to the goal with this team. Keep the pace at an absolute high here. Zeyzal and Svenskeren constantly re-engaging for them to open up more opportunities. 50% of the bottom turret just taken off. Nisqy trying to fend off Doublelift there.
Yeah, and that was
just that.
A critical sidestep from Nisqy on that W. That would have procced the passive and potentially allowed him to actually follow through with the ultimate and get that kill.
Here's the Rift Herald, summoned up by Xmithie. Remember, Team Liquid lost 3 in the topside river to secure this objective. They need to get value out of its use, but it looks like they'll get a whole lot of nothing.
With the pace of these skirmishes, it's very hard to keep track of the cooldowns when you're in game like that. So you have to watch out for some of the key ones here. Now they've got Zeyzal flash ready.
Zeyzal is fearless. He just walks right up into the brush. He's going to be suppressed. Team Liquid trying to make this fight happen. It's going to be a shutdown for Xmithie. It's mid laner for mid laner, and Cloud9 get Xmithie too. It's a 1 for 2, and now they're looking to take the Drake.
Licorice way faster on that roam now, comes up, and with him arriving, there was no chance for TL to continue that fight. C9 taking control of this game. They will add a second Mountain Dragon here to their collection, giving them even more Baron threat. And you are seeing how well Nisqy is utilizing the ultimate here from Silas, always finding a critical ult to take.
Here we go, replay coming up to show us exactly how Zeyzal started it off.
Yeah, he starts it off by getting Skarner ulted, and he flashes out to the top side and lives in the end. Jensen tries to get the kill there on Akali flipping over, but once they turn it and take down the Akali, as you mentioned, Licorice has the inside track for the roam of top laners, so he doesn't allow impact into the fight while they finish up the extra kill, leading to their #1 objective. And guess what? Zeyzal's back at it.
Zeyzal once again setting up the plays. The chains come down and Doublelift's taken out.
There was no mana there for Doublelift, so no ability to actually get out of that one, and he gets punished.
#1 goal for Team Liquid right now is planning ahead. It's so hard to plan ahead when C9 keep this current pace. Zeyzal, you have to track this guy because Cloud9 constantly are trying to start it off with the Alistar. He's even looking for it without his own ultimate.
And I mean, just take a look at how low the farm is in this game. That tells you how aggressive the fights have been, how much these teams are scrapping. Not one person is even close to 10 CS a minute, which is a very standard mark, for these LCS players to hit.
The work for planning has to be laid first here for Team Liquid. They're trying to get those defensive wards in place. You can see through the top river, but C9 don't let them get any use out of it. Just head straight down the lane, take down the tower, another one falls.
17.5 minutes before first turret goes down is a very late mark here in this game, and is just further evidence of how focused both sides have been on the fighting. The other thing that stands out to me about this game is I think this is the first time we've really seen one team turn around the early lead the other one had built. Team Liquid, they were ahead early on. They had the 5-3 kill lead, but ever since then, Cloud9 has just showed up again and again off the back specifically of Zeyzal.
Yeah, you see Jensen here, 5 deaths already, has not been super effective, and Impact is very far behind in this 1v1, has actually tried to roam multiple times, and almost always it feels like is late to the show, and not able to really get anything out of those roams.
Yeah, this one really highlighting how Cloud9 value that team play, bring together every extra member to play off of the strengths of their compatriots. Now, bottom side, they should be able to take that outer turret without another conflict. It is time now for Cloud9 to slowly gain the benefits of all the hard work they just put in for the last 5 minutes. This outer tower goes down without a fight, and there it is, a more bigger reward here for Licorice as he gets the solo gold.
And as Jensen's teleport comes back up and he can once again be a global threat, he again expends the perfect execution for no real gain, so that threat is diminished. He's not finding these kills he's looking for, but it is giving him the priority to take down this turret and bring this game a little bit closer.
Yeah, it was at least a trade of ults there with Silas. He pushes him out, he grabs the turret, but you can really see very clearly where all the action has been. Mid-jungle here, rather, for C9. These two players, 12 KP apiece, they have been extremely dominant. It's 10 deaths combined between Jensen and Xmithie, they are really being punished, it feels like, by this very, very fast pace that Cloud9 is setting for them.
Cloud9 will keep on defending that mid lane tier 1. They're holding on as good as they can to it. Team Liquid taking it down slowly but surely with the chip damage, but still not able to really bring that one out of the picture just yet.
Really like that point, Azil, because a lot of the mid laners in the LCS have been outspoken about the Cloud9 jungle mid duo. Power Vivo himself, before their matchup versus Cloud9, is the #1 thing he was looking out for.
Map still favoring Cloud9 as they push into Team Liquid territory. They take over the Skarner spires, makes it easier to catch Xmithie out, reduces his move speed, reduces his mana regeneration when he's not got those available to work with. Baron is on the table. 20 minutes now, the name of the game. Drake going to be spawning here in about 40 seconds too, as Team Liquid try to force their way back out into neutral territory.
Yeah, and I'm just expecting Cloud9 now to set up shop around this Baron, try to deny as much vision as possible, and utilize the really strong engage they have. Out of Fog, Alistar, as well as the Sejuani for Svenskeren are so damn hard to avoid.
And there's a big difficulty right now for Team Liquid, for anyone to actually get within range of that Sejuani or Alistar. If you look at Xmithie, he's the one you would think would be the tankiest member that would be fine doing it, but since Skarner does not run Aftershock like a lot of the other tank junglers, not nearly as defensible as some of those other ones, plus he's got just the pieces there for the Gargoyle of Stoneplate. Before you complete that, those pieces don't provide very much value at all, and without that active, he won't be able to survive to the same degree that even the support of Cloud9 can.
Yeah, I mean, that one pink ward that they're huddling on is as far up as their vision actually goes. You know, there's no wards over by that Baron pit, and that is why we see that blue trinket getting dropped. Svenskeren actually casting spells almost, you know, pretending that they're about to start it.
Bait him in.
Well, hey, you know you're in a good spot in the game when your top laner can solo down the Drake with nobody else nearby because they absolutely know it will never be contested. The map is just Cloud9's to play with right now as they force Xmithie away and take his flash.
Yeah, you can see how dangerous it is for Team Liquid. Now a flashless Skarner without the completed item. He's the target.
Here we go. Nisqy and Svenskeren going right into the fight, and Xmithie is gone. Jensen going to be taken very low as the AoE pours in, and Sneaky goes on a killing spree. It's 3-0. It's all C9.
It's only 22 minutes into the game, and already we're worried for the Team Liquid Nexus. This Baron will easily get picked up by Cloud9. They have the tools to tower dive, so they don't even have to stop at these outers. Nisqy's gonna go clean up the last one by himself in the meantime, and Cloud9 are due to get paid.
I mean, this is absolute dominance. Last game, well, we'll see if Doublelift can pick this up.
Yep, Doublelift at least gets one off the back end.
But I mean, last game, Cloud9 take a 21-minute Baron. This game, they take a 22-minute Baron again now on that Red Bull Baron power play, looking to stack up the gold. You know, deal lethal damage, perhaps. As you're saying, they have such powerful engage and dive, and critical items really coming through across the board here for Cloud9. These champions are on such a strong point.
And for Team Liquid, the situation just grows worse and worse by the minute. Now, you are already struggling to maintain any control over the map. What are you going to do when everybody on Cloud9 is ready to go with Baron?
Well, they're not defending mid lane, that's for sure, and C9 have an open pass straight down mid. They can actually run it down right now. Team Liquid are all recalling, and that tower just evaporates.
Disappears before their very eyes, and C9 build that lead to 8K.
Yeah, it looks like TL are kind of making the call here that they need to get picks. You can see Jensen way up in the top lane there, you know, not actually in a position to defend. He is trying to draw members up to him. You know, their wave clear is actually not very good. Kaisa is your main form of wave clear. That is not really strong. The Akali, it's way too dangerous for her to actually move forward and help with that wave clear. Same thing with Renekton. So, you know, they have to try to pull members up and make a play to buy time to survive this Baron.
I think they also need to keep Jensen up there as long as possible. If Team Liquid can hold on, nope.
Oh, here we go. Impact is in danger as Cloud9 collapses. Free pick for them, and the push is going right down bottom lane.
Yeah, he clearly thought he had no chance to get out. Didn't even use the ultimate there. Jensen is going to keep going, but Cloud9 aren't going to stop. They could potentially end the game.
Doors wide open here for C9 as they run it through this Baron. They could end it before it even wears off.
This is an easy base race for the side of C9. TP coming in now for Jensen, but the dive's already going to be popping off. Xmithie going to be taken very low, taken down. Nisqy's in a killing spree, and TL's on the retreat. Nisqy gets shut down. Good pick up there from Jensen, and C9's going to be repelled. Doublelift's got the auto attacks, but Zeyzal has the headbutt pulverized. Licorice goes unstoppable, and C9 smack Doublelift in the mouth on their way out.
Yeah, and they're going to keep pushing. There's 4 members here. Impact does have his ultimate available. You can see Jensen healing back up. They want to try to make something happen here, but Sneaky is untouched.
Only one Nexus turret remains. Impact on the front line, but how long can he stand? Nexus exposed. Team Liquid in danger. Jensen can do nothing to stop it. Zeyzal chases after him and grabs the kill. And Cloud9 are making this look easy.
I know many teams that would back off seeing the respawns there, but as you know, Cloud9 are not one of them. They end that second game here and now.
And what an impressive game again here. Absolute domination, it feels like, from Cloud9. They have really turned up the aggression. We have seen it demonstrated why the Alistar was banned out in games 1 and 2. Zeyzal critically finding so many engages, and you've got to look at the top side of the map here for Cloud9. So effective in this game, and it felt like GLs was able to get nothing done whatsoever.
Not just Zeyzal on this Alistar, but that is back-to-back games now that we have seen Svenskeren do work on this Sejuani. I feel like you've got to find a better answer for it, because, and it pains me to say this, the Skarner's not doing it.
That's blasphemy.
I can't believe the words came out of my mouth, but you know I mean it when I say it then. This Sejuani is just putting on a clinic in the jungle.
It's hard for Skarner to control the pace of the game sometimes, and that is Team Liquid's #1 problem right now.
And for more on how Game 3 shook out and Cloud9 took the win, let's head back to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Flowers. I can't believe the words that just came out of your mouth, but we brought Meteos on the desk to help us understand this slugfest of a game and a series. Meteos, how have you felt about the way that both of these teams have absolutely attacked each other so far in the first 3?
This has been a great series to watch for me so far, and to me it looks like C9 is just the stronger team thus far. I think we can overlook their Game 1 troll draft, but aside from that, they've just come out swinging and been playing very well.
Let's talk about the draft. We'll ignore Game 1 and we'll look at Game 3 here, where once again they find a melee mid laner for Nisqy by leaving up the Akali of all things for Jensen.
So the mid lane matchup was fine to me. The big problem is Cloud9 just bought it due with the Sejuani, and now they go into the second rotation with the first ban Trundle while you've already chosen a jungler. That tells you it's Sejuani. It's coming out 100%. They already have a silence. It's a good matchup with a melee. And then they choose to ban Karma as a response instead of targeting the Sejuani, giving up the MVP jungler Svenskeren, his best jungler, and just completely runs over Xmithie.
I mean, to some degree, it speaks to the respect that these teams are giving to the Karma, even though it hasn't necessarily...
They're sharing the same bag of chips, Dash.
It's a one bag of chips for everyone. They got to stay focused on the conversation around this game. Here's some early game stuff. Lots of action in the mid lane as Jensen will find the solo kill, but Sven grabs it back.
And I feel like Jensen came out of the gates with something to prove, but Svenskeren was absolutely right there to answer back. And the fact that C9 could suffer these early casualties, but then still continue to pull back, it could be a defining moment for them in this series.
Yeah, I think it is time for Liquid to rethink their Skarner pick, because it just seems like C9 is playing too aggressively. Usually Skarner is good in a slower game where your lanes can slowly, build up advantages and then you harvest dragons. But in this series, there are just so many plays, and Sejuani is just much stronger than Skarner in these scrappy fights.
Big part of it, actually, because of the Skarner's slow pace and reliability on the ultimate, Team Liquid kept taking fights without those skills. They did not fight every single fight with the Skarner ultimate or the Renekton ultimate, and as a result, Cloud9 sees the opportunity. Just keep going. It doesn't matter, and they will win because Sejuani can offer you so much more whether she has her ultimate or not.
It was quite back and forth in the early game. Both teams finding wins. This is a big one, though, for Cloud9.
The end of the fight, Renekton and Skarner still have ultimate, and a really nice engage out of Zeyzal with a flash pulverize, following up his single headbutt.
I do think that from draft, it's super hard for Liquid to actually win these 5v5 engagements, because if you look at their champions, they don't have anyone tanky enough to survive the engage. You know, you're getting Alistar comboed, you're getting Sejuani ulted. If you don't have someone that's tanky enough to, you know, survive that, you're just going to flop. So I feel like Jarvan is probably a good answer for Team Liquid. It's a champion that I expected to have really high priority in this series, but actually hasn't gotten picked yet. So maybe we'll see it for the next game.
Looking at Jarvan as an answer, because those kinds of statistics for Svenskeren cannot keep coming up if Team Liquid wants a chance in this series.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Svenskeren has gotten into Xmithie's head a little bit, but mostly just outplayed him in the last 2 games. Some of that does have to do with Skarner and just the capabilities of the champion, but thinking about the way fights played out past the mid-game, so often it was TL being later to the play and C9 finding the ways to initiate first.
Yeah, and it really feels like Team Liquid is being taken out of their comfort zone. They're not able to control the fights that they want to take because, like you mentioned, we keep talking, the Skarner wants to do it, and Jensen keeps finding himself, okay, I got something to prove, I need to make it into these fights and clean something up. But because the champions are so tanky, and because Nisqy, yes, you are Silas, kind of that squishy mage, you always steal the Renekton ultimate. You're never going down.
Cloud9 is so good at using momentum. When they find it in a series, they just never let it drop, right? They keep it kind of there at the tip top the entire way through. Yes, following that set of replays there, we did have a few minutes of gameplay where not a whole lot happened. But in that time, it was Cloud9 just cycling vision around the Baron, keeping TL in the dark and making them question time and time again with a double mountain on the other side. Are they taking that Baron?
Right, I think even in those moments where there might not be action happening, there's so much pressure on Team Liquid at those moments because they just don't have any vision. As soon as the Baron spawned, you saw it was just kind of doomed for them. Cloud9's got 2 mountains, so if you give them 5 seconds alone with the Baron, it's gone. You've got to walk in, they've got full pinks, and
then this is what happens.
Yeah, you know, you're just kind of dead.
There's so much AoE CC, and look at that Alistar. That's just a crazy engage. This champion, I see why it was banned 2 games in a row. Really don't expect it to be given to Zeyzal again. I mean, just too much of an impact, and against CoreJJ's best pick of the Rakana as well. So really showing up that he has an answer to it, and it has to be responded.
I would like to see Team Liquid go for more of, you know, these skirmishing champions. I think that even if you give up Alistar, taking something like Braum into it is a good response. It's always been pretty solid because, like I was saying before, you just need someone who can survive their engage. When Braum puts up his E, he's not going to get one-shot by these ultimates. And the difference between getting one shot in the engage and not getting one shot is pretty huge. So I think that if TL can adapt and play more into this skirmishing style, that they could possibly come back.
Series score stands at 2-1. Cloud9 with side select goes back to blue side, keeping in the trend of the series itself. But this is not necessarily unfamiliar territory for TL. We have to remember that they were down 0-2 in their last final against TSM, and so in fact they better positioned this time around. They are more than capable of bringing this back. But Jat, from the red side, what's the answer?
It's going to be difficult. I find it interesting because TL hasn't been able to keep up with the skirmishing style, but to me, the game they won is because they had a substantially better 5v5. And the last 2 games where they lost, they did have a worse 5v5. I do want to see Xmithie on a Jarvan or a Sejuani, but for the rest of it, I want to see TL get back to basics, win 5v5 team fights, actually use their teleports first towards bottom lane when a skirmish happens there instead of letting C9 just pile down onto Doublelift over and over again. And I think that's their best chance of using their experience and pulling it back.
So I want to pose you a question. What do you think about Team Liquid on red side? Give up the Yuumi, target Nisqy even more, really double down on taking away his mid laners, and that should slow down the pace of the mid lane action.
I think that could be a good approach. I don't know if it's actually possible to shut down Nisqy because it seems like he's pretty proficient on lots of champions. You know, you've got Irelia, Kiana, Silas. I don't know if you can fully ban him out.
At this point, he's going to be able to play an aggressive mid lane melee champion, and I think there's nothing that TL can do.
What I'm thinking, if you give up the Yuumi, C9 first picks it, and you open up taking the Akali and taking some of those away for yourself. Too.
What I think TL's best strategy here coming into Game 4 would just be to play around their strengths. TL has always done well when they play through bottom. We saw in Game 1 where they won, they were playing around bottom pretty well, and then in Games 2 and 3, they were kind of taking, you know, defensive bot lane picks. In the second one, they blinded Tahm Varus, which is kind of just like a I don't want to lose lane. You're probably going to go even in most situations, and then in Game 3, they took away the Rakan to break up this Rakan combo. So it seems like they're kind of playing not to lose bottom when, you know, this whole season they've won games through winning bottom. So I feel like they should go back to that kind of style.
That was actually the criticism that Doublelift threw at TSM in the finals as well, so maybe it's coming back to bite them.
Theme of the weekend has been play what you are comfortable with. Go back to what has always worked for you. Cloud9 are 1 win away from earning their first title in 5 years. See if they can snap the drought in Game 4.
They're going to be knowing this Sejuani can be heading their way.
No more sustain in the mid lane. And Jensen!
He's in trouble, and he's first blood. Svenskeren is going to be the focus here at the beginning. CoreJJ and Doublelift coming around from behind. Jensen's able to grab kill number 1. Nisqy's going to be dropping down for kill number 2.
I'm gonna Varus dead here. Look, Rakan's 1 HP. Keep fighting. I'm coming. We can fight.
She's going to be suppressed. Team Liquid trying to make this fight happen. It's going to be a shutdown for Xmithie. It's mid laner for mid laner.
I got him. Skarner. Peel. Look at Nisqy. Protected. He's dead.
Nice. How long can he stand? Nexus exposed. Team Liquid in danger. Jensen can do nothing to stop it.